Yo, what's up, people? This your man, Big Mike, checking in, Real Talk TV. Hope you guys are blessed, having a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is in your part of the world. We chopping it up tonight, waiting for some folks to get into the chat, man. So we're gonna have a good conversation tonight. We're gonna have a good conversation tonight. I want to talk to you guys about should you date a single mother? I've seen a lot of videos on this topic, and I just thought I would add my 2 cents to the topic, man. So we're talking about should you date a single mother? If you are new in the chat or you dropping into the chat, let me know who you are and where you're from. We can get this thing rolling, all right? Who you are and where you're from. Marcus, what up, boy? My guy. Hey, appreciate you dropping in the chat, man. My man. Should you date a single mother? Marcus says, every situation is different, but mostly no. I agree with that. We're going to get into that, Marcus. We're going to get into that. I definitely agree that in most situations, probably 8 out of 10, no. But there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions, which I will get into once we get some more people to drop into the chat, man. So, yeah, I feel you, bro. I had 2 bad experiences. Never again. Yes, sir. I dig that, bro. I had one experience with a single mother. I was in my 20s. I was 24 when I met her. I'm 42 now, of course, but when I was 24, I made the mistake of dating a single mother at the time. And boy, listen, I made a promise to myself I would never do that again. Kimberly Williams, what's good, yo? What's happening? How you doing? And hopefully this doesn't offend anybody, but I just got to be real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you're a single mother, I want y'all to understand this is not an attack on single mothers. This is not no, you know what I'm saying, true out session on single mothers. I'm just spitting the real, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all it is. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like the challenges that come with dating a single mother. So if you are a single mother watching this video again or this live stream, this is not an attack towards single mothers. Because I understand when you're young and you might mess around and have a kid or whatever, things happen. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You're young and experienced. You might be in love at the time and things happen. One kid is something different than having 2, 3, 4, 5 kids by different men. That doesn't say a person has learned their lesson. You feel me? So we're gonna get into that. Marcus says, high risk, low reward, Mike. They are better off going back to the father, honestly. I agree with that. I agree with that. But then that may not always be possible. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the father may be a dirtbag or he may not be a suitable father and stuff like that. And so eventually the person has to move on. But how do they then go and continue their life looking to find love while they have a kid? You feel me? So there's challenges with that. You know what I'm saying? It's sometimes maybe easy for them to go back to the father of their kids, which I think is the best option, but that may not always be the available option to some of these people. You know, Kimberly says agreed, but it's a double standard. Facts. Definitely, definitely. Definitely a double standard. But like, okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all a story real fast, man. Like when I dated a single mother in my 20s, right? I was 24 years old, and I got hooked up with this girl through some people at my job. It was like, yo, Mike, I think you a cool guy. I know this girl that go to my church. I think y'all would be cool together. Y'all should meet up and link up. So I ended up meeting her and stuff. And they told me beforehand, the guy who I work with, he told me, he was like, hey man, just to forewarn you, she does have a kid. And I was like, okay, well, how old is the kid? Kid was like a year old, which is, I'm gonna get into that. But I met up with her, very attractive young lady at the time, and everything was clicking. We was hitting on all cylinders, and man, fast forward, we got into the situation of the relationship a little bit too deep. And then next thing you know, her baby daddy started calling me out of nowhere, threatening me, saying that, oh, I better get away from this baby moms and all this other stuff. And I was like, bro, like, this is goofy, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my goodness, man. But that's one thing. If you're going to date a single mother, you ought to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. I am not advocating you date a single mother. If it's, I think it's best for you not to do that. Honestly, it's best for you not to date a single mother. But let's be real. People catch feelings. You like who you like. That person may just have a kid, right? One kid. Okay, got it. Now, if you're going to date that single mother, there are things that comes with that they are also going to have to understand. Number one, I get it when you're dating a single mother. The kid is very important, but you also matter too. You also matter. So they're going to have to try to find time. And that's the tricky part about dating a single mother, man, is that, like, number one, you're going to have to understand that, like, you are going to always be second place. You are not going to be first place ever while that kid is young. And if this is a good mother we're talking about, if it's a good mother, you are not going to be first place. You're going to be second place. So you're going to have to get that in your head if you date a single mother. You are not going to be first place. Number two, you may have to deal with the baby father. You may have to deal with that, especially if it's a young child. If the child is like 15, 16, 21, okay, that child's grown. It depends on where you are at in life. If you're young, dating a single mother, that's going to be more challenging for you because that child still has to grow up. That child still has to, be raised under the tutelage of the parents. They're going to look for their daddy and stuff like that. So you have to deal with all that stuff. It's easier, I think, when you get older because that child's already grown. They're independent. They already left the house probably. And you can just focus on the mother versus having to focus on the mother and focusing on the kid. You know what I mean? So, it's not a bad thing to date a single mother, but I'm just saying if you're going to do that, understand what that comes with. I know you got people that's all over the internet saying never, ever, ever date a single mother. For the most part, I agree with that. I agree with that for the most part. 8 times out of 10, you don't want to do that, especially if you are a young single guy with no kids. Why would you want to do that? But if you do meet a young woman who may have a kid, there are some exceptions. Like, for example, she had a kid early, maybe 18, 19, 20 years old. She's 27 now. She's already long done with the baby daddy, and she's ready to move on into a more serious, mature relationship. She made a mistake when she was young. You know what I'm saying? She made a mistake. She got pregnant one time, cool. This person is looking to move on and grow in life and meet somebody who is worth their time and spend the rest of their life with. And you are sure that father is out of the picture. Or maybe there's an understanding there where you can spend time with her and there's not going to be any static between you and the baby daddy. Then maybe that's suitable. But if that's not the case, then I would not advise that at all. Let's see. Agreed. East B says, Malik Yoba, I love your movies. East B says, the dude ran you off? No, he didn't run me off. No, he didn't run me off. He called my job. He called me on my cell phone talking to me crazy one night when I was at work. And I stood my ground. Like, listen, man, Don't let the positive messages fool you on this channel, man. I ain't no pushover. I ain't no punk. Don't let what I say on this channel fool y'all, any of y'all. He ain't ran me off. So let's get that clear. I ain't no square like that. I told him what I said. That was a long time ago. I'm 42 now. I was in my 20s. So I had a lot more energy for that smoke, you know what I'm saying, back then. I said what I said, and he backed down. I said, look, I don't care what you say. I'm not going nowhere, bro. Like, if you feel like your girl's talking to me and you don't want her talking to me, take that up with her. In a nutshell, that's what I said. I don't do the daughter thing. Your kid, that's your kid. You deal with that. But as far as me and that woman at the time was concerned, I'm talking to her. If you don't like it, take it up with her. I ain't got nothing to do with that. If you was that much of a solid dude, she wouldn't be talking to me in the first place. So, hey, listen. Market says, what's bad is that there are more bad situations than good ones. Most of the time, you're just a wallet and biological father drops nothing but still has access. Not a good situation. Yes, I agree with that, Marcus. I agree with that. That's why I said, like, if you are to get in that situation, you got to make sure the coast is clear for you. Again, I am not advocating you date a single mother, but if you do, make sure the coast is clear. Make sure that there is no roadblocks. Make sure there is no, like, shadows of the baby daddy lurking in the background and stuff like that. Make sure you assess that situation clearly before you get into that. Because like you said, Marcus, man, like the baby daddy is always gonna have a special place in their heart. But no matter how hard they try to act, no matter how hard a woman try to act, that dude put a whole baby inside of her. So it's not gonna be easy for her to just shake that off. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, in a lot of cases, those guys will have access to that woman because they shared a kid together. So again, not advocating it, not telling you guys to do that. But in case you do run into a woman who has a kid, tread carefully, very carefully. And the reason why I think I'm on the fence with this whole situation, man, this topic, I'm not saying that I am like totally against anyone dating a woman who has a kid, because my stepfather, I was not his biological kid. He looked after me. So there are some real men out there who will, have a kid that's not theirs or deal with a kid that's not theirs and raise them up to be young, productive young men, like my stepfather did with me. I was not his blood. I was not his blood child. He looked after me. You know what I'm saying, and raised me up to be the person I am. So there are some good men out there who do things like that, but that's not every story. It's not a lot of stories. Andre Woodard. Yo, Andre, what's good, boy? Thanks for dropping in, man. Andre said, "What's up, big bro? Quick question. How much should a man make to get married, in your opinion?" I don't think there's a limit on how much you should make to get married. I think it depends on who you're with. I mean, I don't follow society's rules when it comes to that type of stuff, like how they say that, oh, you should make 150,000 a year, or you should make 200,000 a year before you have a family and all this other stuff. No, love has nothing to do with price. It has nothing to do with money. Love has nothing to do with price or money. Love is free. Everything God gave us, He gave us for free. Everything. Name one thing that God charged you for. Man puts price on things. Man makes that notion, that, oh, you need to make this amount of money to get married or to have a family and all this stuff. Now, granted, you want to not be broke. I feel, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be broke, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to provide a comfortable life for your family and do the best you can for them. But there's no price limit on how much you should make before you get married. It all depends on who you're with and if y'all really in love, man. And then the rest y'all can figure out. I don't go by that rule that you have to have a certain amount of money to get married. Because I mean, poor people get married, rich people get married. It's nothing about money. Nothing to do with money. So it really depends on who you're marrying. East B says this Malik Yoga. Rosie Bud, what's up, Rosie? Rosie says, I don't have children, but dating men with children is equally frustrating. That baby mom slash dad dynamic is stressful. Yeah, man. Yeah, especially the younger the child is. The younger the child is, you got to take what comes with that. They're not going to always be accessible to you. And the thing, all right, so the thing about dating a single mother, right? That especially for a man, because as men, we are enforcers, we are disciplinarians, and so, and we store order in the house. That's a man's role, is to establish order, discipline, direction in the household, right? So when you got a single mother who tells you that you cannot discipline her kids, that's a red flag, man. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. And I don't care what nobody says about it. If you have a woman who has a kid that's not yours and you are willing to date her, she should be submissive in terms of allowing you to discipline those kids if it's necessary. Not be abusive now. Let's not get that twisted. Not to abuse those kids, but if you are going to be the male dominant figure in the household, she has to yield to your authority. If she tells you that you cannot discipline that kid, if that kid gets out of line, say that kid talks to you crazy, curses at you, threatens to do something to you, and you supposed to just take that because you're the stepdaddy? Nah, man. No. If you have no authority to discipline that kid, do not do it. Because even though you're not that kid's biological dad, you're still the male figure in their life. If you deal with the mother, you got to deal with that kid too. I don't care what nobody say, man. You can not like the video. I don't give a crap. I don't care. Those who say, "Oh no, you can't touch someone," listen. I'm not in the situation, but I'm saying, like, you talking about the 42-year-old version of me right now? If I dated somebody who had a kid, even though I'm married, but I'm saying if I was single and I dated somebody who got a kid, if that woman tells me that you cannot discipline my kid, oh no, not doing it. Your kid ain't gonna talk to me crazy. Your kid ain't about to be running around here acting a freaking fool, doing all kind of stuff and think they can get away with it because I'm not their blood parent. No. Promise you that. Wait says, what if it was the way around? What do you mean? Yo, wait, what do you mean by that? It's my wife on the live stream. Yo, what's up, baby? Marcus says, same here. I had a stepfather. He wasn't treated good, but he made our life better financially. Yeah, man. Yeah, facts. And that's why I'm not like totally opposed. That's why my perspective may be a little bit different, because I'm not totally opposed to a man dating a woman who got a kid. Because my stepfather did the same thing for me. He didn't have to do that. Like, I was not his biological kid at all. He could have been like, man, screw that kid, man. Like, they ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like, get him out of my face. But he took care of me and he raised me up to be the man I am today. So I can't say that all situations should be looked at with contempt and it should be frowned upon because it really depends on the woman you're dealing with. Now, again, if you are if the woman had a kid at 19 or 20 years old and she's 28 now, 29, 30 years old, she learned her and she only had that one kid. That's a woman who made a mistake in her younger years and she learned her lesson. I mean, who's to say she don't deserve love? You know what I'm saying? So she may deserve a second chance. You know what I'm saying? If she's a good mother, she doesn't look to you to take care of that kid, like depending on you, like wholeheartedly. She taking care of her business. She doesn't need you to take care of her kid. All she needs is somebody who to rub her back and love her and care for her. Then cool, maybe. And if she gives you authority in that household, if she gives you authority in that household, now if she's telling you like, oh, you can't discipline my kid, or you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Man, why would you want to deal with that? Heck no. Get up out of there, man. Because if you can't establish your dominance in that household, that kid is gonna grow up with no respect for you, man. No respect for you. You're already not their daddy, so that's one strike against you. And then you couldn't even discipline the kid when the kid got out of line at all? Sorry, not sorry. Kimberly says, does a man look down on an older woman without children? No. They may be curious about it, but no. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they'll ask you, but no, man, that's not something to look down on. Not everyone has kids. Not everyone wants kids. Not everyone has a suitable partner to have kids with when they maybe want to have kids. So, no, I don't know. Men don't look down on women that don't have kids. I think that men are more intrigued by women who don't have kids, especially in today's time we living in right now, and people having all kind of kids before they're 25 years old. If a man meets a woman nowadays who's 30, 35, 40 that don't have kids, he may be more intrigued with her because he may want to know, like, yo, why didn't you have kids? So you may be more appealing to him than somebody who's younger and has 2 and 3 kids. So no, man, it doesn't look down on a woman who don't have kids. I think that would depend on why you don't have kids. I mean, can a woman have kids? Now, if a man who wants to have kids is dealing with a woman who cannot have kids physically, that may be a problem. But if she just chose not to have kids, that's something different. Marcus says older women without kids shouldn't be looked down on. Some women don't want kids or can't have them. Yeah, facts. Now, it depends on what that man is. You know what I'm saying? If that man wants kids and that woman cannot have kids, that may be a problem. It's going to be a problem most likely. You know what I'm saying? If he wants kids and she can't have them, or if she don't want kids and he wants kids, yeah, problem. But if he's older and maybe he's past that window where he may have wanted to have kids and she can't have kids or she don't want to have kids, and at that point it's like, so what? That man don't want to have kids anyway. Or he probably is past that age where, you know what I'm saying, he don't want to be dealing with no kids at his age now, in his maybe 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever, however old he is. So it just depends on what stage you're at in life and what stage that man is at in life, I think. You guys mind if I eat my cake? My wife made this lemon cake. I swear, she makes the best lemon cake from scratch. And bro, listen, she cannot make this too often because I'll get fat. I tell her, don't make this too often because, boy, oh my goodness, man. All right. You guys who are in the chat, If you're not hit the like button yet, I would like to kindly remind you to please hit the like button if you feel so inclined. If not, it's all good. I love y'all anyway. But if you be so willing, please do. But Jason says, I wasted so much time with a single mother, 7 years of my life. Don't do it, gentlemen, please. Hey, listen. I feel that. Jason, I feel that. And again, I am not saying that men should date single mothers. I'm just saying that not all situations are the same. Some women that's a single mother, maybe they can be dated. Most of them cannot. Most of them. I said 8 times out of 10, don't do it. But there are some exceptions to the rule. You got some cool women out there. You got some good women out there. They're a good woman. They might have been 19 years old, had a kid. Now they're 26, 27. They learn from their mistakes. They turn their life over to God. They are different people now, right? That baby daddy is long gone. They're looking for a man now. You know what I'm saying? I think everyone deserves a second chance. You know what I'm saying? Depends on, the situation. You know what I'm saying? It depends on if that situation has been cleared. You know what I'm saying? Like they got that dude out of the way. He's gone. They got this kid. They learned their lesson. They're mature. They have grown up, and they are making better life choices. Now, one kid can happen. One kid can happen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. Listen, that's somebody who ain't learned their lesson. That's somebody who don't give a crap. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the situation, man. Not all situations are the same. And I think that not all women who have a kid should be automatically dismissed. It really depends on what they got going on. What's up, love?
Don't put this in the dishwasher. I'm gonna put the other cake here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll just go.
Oh, you want to put the other cake in the fridge on here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to finish this tonight, though. You want to eat some? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Jason, let me see. Like, what made you say that, Jason? What made you say like don't ever do it? Like, and I know you probably don't want to type in all your experiences on this live stream, but like, if you can summarize it, I would like to. I'd love to read it. Yeah, not all women should be dismissed because they got a kid, man. It just depends. Robert says, God, Jesus bless you all. Hey, Robert, may the Lord bless you too, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for dropping in. You guys who are in the chat, please hit the like button for your boy. I appreciate that. But yeah, we talking about tonight, man. We talking about should you date a single mother? Should you date a single mother? And for you, those of y'all who might be new in the chat, I was just basically saying in summary that it's all case by case basis. It should not just be a, end all be all, for single mothers. I think that it should be a case by case basis. Because you might fall for a woman, you might like her, who might just happen to have a kid. Now, is that ideal? No. Especially if you don't have kids and you want to start your own family, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Because you got to understand what comes with that. But there are some exceptions to the rule. Maybe a few that may slip through the cracks. But for the most part, I would say no. It just depends, though. Kimberly says, it comes down to self-respect with the woman and her choice to have kids with multiple men. Personally, I couldn't do it. Facts. Like, multiple men, That's crazy. Again, some of us, you know what I'm saying? Like you grew up in different situations, whatever the case, you might be younger, you don't have life experience, you're naive. So a girl who having a kid young at 18, 19, 20, okay. And she's 27 now, 28 now, and she wants to move on with her life and be with a man, actual man. Maybe that can be worked out, you know what I'm saying? And it also depends on the age of the kid too. I think that's also important. You also gotta think about the age of that child. If that child is like only 6 months old, a year old, do you really want to come in a situation where that kid is fresh out of her womb and that child's daddy is somewhere lurking in the background? That's gonna cause you problems? Nah. If you get in that situation, man, you better be darn sure she got that squared away before you even think about entertaining that. She better get that squared away, like not no hindrances before you get involved with her. Nico says, Mike, I know this isn't the topic, but what do you think young guys but what do you think? Should young guys date older women like 10 years older, especially in today's society with a younger women mindset? Hey, I say this, and this may not be a popular opinion, but I don't care. It's my channel. It's my opinion. It's my thoughts. Um, if you two are consenting legal adults, do what you want. I don't tell nobody how to live their life. If you two are consenting legal adults, do as you wish. Legal adults, consenting. 10 years older, so what? That's nothing new. Man, that's been going on since the beginning of time. And you know, it kind of irks me when I hear people that get so sensitive about that stuff. They get so butthurt about, oh, she's 10 years older than him, or he's older than her. So what? This ain't high school. Once you get to the point of being in the real world, people like who they like, man. Age difference and all. Who cares about that freaking age difference stuff? I don't care about that. As long as those two people are grown adults, they are both grown, they're both consenting. So what? Now, we're not talking underage. We ain't talking that crazy stuff. We ain't talking about all that. Now, that's different. Totally different. But if these two are legal consenting adults and they want to date each other, age difference and all, I personally do not care. Like, I have better things in my life to worry about and to think about and stuff like that. I don't care what somebody else do with their time. That's their life, not mine. I mean, when I was younger, I dated older women. I dated younger women when I got older, before I got married, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did all that stuff. Let me see. Kim says, what made you choose tonight's topic? Did you come across something crazy on social media? I saw mothers on social media saying they hate their kids. You could see the disdain for their children. You know, that's wild. Why even have your kids if you're gonna hate them? Like, whatever. But no, Kim, it just dawned on me, honestly. Like, it came out of nowhere. I was just doing my thing this evening or whatever, and it just came to me to talk about it. Because I mean, in the past, I've heard a lot of I've heard a lot of videos on this topic, and you know, you got a lot of guys that they're saying, "Don't ever date a single mother. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." And I agree for the most part. But as someone who had a stepfather in their life, I think there are exceptions to the rule. You know what I'm saying? There should be a few exceptions. You know what I'm saying? A woman should not automatically be disqualified because she has one kid. It depends on a few different factors, man. Like where you at in your life, where she's at in life, how old the kid is, her mentality, her spirituality, her mindset, stuff like that. I mean, it's all kinds of things, man. Like you should kind of think about before you make that type of decision. Is she gonna let you establish your dominance in that household? Is she gonna try to restrain you from being the male dominant figure? If she's telling you that you can't discipline that kid, man, that's a problem. Don't do that. Because listen, again, I'm married, but I'm saying if I were single and dating someone who had a kid, if I if I am going to be in that household as the male dominant figure and you tell me that I cannot discipline that kid, we have a problem. Because then you are telling that kid that they can talk to me any old kind of way, they can treat me any old kind of way, and not have to worry about any repercussions. I would not do that personally. I'm not going to abuse nobody. I don't abuse no kids. But boy, I will establish my presence in that house. You are not going to talk to me crazy. And you're not going to just be walking around acting like, oh, because I ain't your daddy, you can just act crazy. Nah, man. Not doing that. I don't play with kids. I do not play with kids. And kids don't play with me. Like, to an extent, we can be playful, but don't get it twisted. If that makes any sense. Nico says, it's actually the best relationship, man. I was 21, dated a woman who was 43. Wow. Gracious, peace. I mean, I know we talking age differences and all a minute ago, but dang, Nico. That's your mom. No, I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. Man, it was the best relationship of my life, for real. Thanks for your opinion. Yo, I dig that, man. You know what I'm saying? When you young, you like older women, man. When you young, you love older women. They teach you the game. They teach you how women actually move. They teach you a lot about life and all this stuff. It's not just the physical part. It's not just the sex and all this stuff. It's about the mental, where they're at mentally. When you're that young and impressionable, older women, man, they'll really put you on game. They'll really teach you a lot of stuff, man. So that's what you get out of it more than just the physical aspect of it. Because when you're that young, yeah, you can have a woman your age, y'all have the physical relationship, but she don't know nothing like the older women does. The older women can teach you how to dress, how to do this, how to do that, how to make money, how to do this, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, but once you're like in your 40s, you're not looking for women that age. You're looking for women probably in 30s or 20s. It's weird how life works like that. When you're young, you like older women. When you're older, you like younger women. It's kind of crazy, but that's the way it is. Kimberly says, disciplinary action towards kids can be tricky nowadays. They'll call 911 quickly. Yo, facts, man. I was talking to a friend of mine about that the other day. I'm 42 years old, born in 1983. To some of y'all who might have been born in the 2000s, I know that sounds ancient, but whatever. But man, the beatings I got when I was a kid, try that now. Man, please. The beatings we got when I was a kid, they would call that would be straight up child abuse nowadays, man. Like, what? But that was normal for us back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, please. Please. Like, these kids ain't ready for the beatings we got when I was coming up, boy. That was real beatings. Remember, like, when you used to get detention or you got suspended from school and the teacher would call your house and you know you had one waiting on you when you got home? Then you know when you got home it was on. As soon as your parents saw you, it was on site. That was the scariest thing in the world, bro. When you got home, you was getting your ass whooped. Boy, I don't miss those days at all. When you got home, you know it was on site. Oh man. Kimberly says disciplinary. Oh yeah. Zach says, "Hey, Big Mike, what's going on?" Yo, Zach, what's happening, boy? How you doing, man? Thanks for dropping in. You guys who have not hit the like button yet, please hit the like button for your boy. I would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? If you do, you know what I'm saying? Great. If you don't, God bless you anyway. But I'd appreciate y'all hit the like button, man, for your boy, all right? We just chopping it up tonight, man. We talking about should you date a single mother and whatever else y'all want to talk about, man. I'm just kicking it with y'all tonight, man. So let me know what's on your mind. We can talk about whatever. We don't gotta stay on the topic at hand all night, so. Kimberly says beat with house shoes. Oh yeah, facts. House shoes and whatever else they can get their hands on, bro. Like nothing was off limits. Man, back in the 80s and 90s when we got our behind beat, whatever your parents can get their hands on was fair game. Ain't no, oh, just a belt. Man, you got freaking shoes thrown at you, a broomstick, what? Furniture. It's whatever, dog. It was fair game. These kids now talking about child abuse. Man, please. They could not last in our era back in the 90s. We got beat for real. Shoot, talk about child abuse. Man, please. If any generation that should have called child abuse, it was our generation. It was our generation, boy. We should have called child abuse back in the day. But back in the day, if you did that, cops didn't care. Like you call the cops, they'd be like, "Yo, what'd you call us for?" "Oh, my parents did that." Okay, and I'm going back to lunch. Get out of here. Like they don't care. Shoot, cops would probably take a turn and beat you, right after your parents, man, back in the day. But now, yeah, different world we live in. And the part that kills me about that though, the part that kills me about parents, or excuse me, people who say that, oh, you should not discipline your kids and all this other stuff. The part that kills me about that is, number one, there's a big difference between discipline and abuse. Abuse is when you're taking it too far, you're beating a kid for no reason, you're just taking it over the top and you're doing the most. That's abuse. Discipline is when you see your child headed in the wrong direction and you have no other ways to correct them other than maybe physical discipline. You try talking to them, you try yelling at them, it's not working. You might have to give them a couple pops, let them know, hey, listen, we're not doing all of that. You better settle down and chill out, blah, blah, blah. But we got this era now who calls that abuse. But then again, when you don't get discipline from home, if you don't get discipline from home, you're gonna get it from somewhere. Whether it's the jail cell, whether it's from somebody in the street, somebody is going to teach that kid discipline at some point if it's not from home. Because the more that kid does not get disciplined at home, they're going to think it's okay to just go out here and treat people any old kind of way. They're not going to have no respect for authority. They're not going to have no respect for anyone else in the streets because they never learned it at home. And next thing you know, people in the streets are not going to be as nice. The police are not going to be as nice to your kids as you are. People in the street, on the corners, they're not going to be as nice to your kid as you are. The things you may discipline them for or spank them for, somebody in the street going to kill them. So it's best to learn that stuff at home. Because one thing my dad taught me when I was a kid, my dad used to teach me, he said that I'm teaching you what I'm teaching you now so someone else doesn't have to teach you later on. He used to say that to me all the time. When I was a bad kid. I'm not gonna lie. I was bad. I was a knucklehead when I was a kid, man. I used to do all kind of stuff. You know how boys are. We curious. We get into stuff and all the stuff. We always get in a little trouble and stuff like that. And, picking fights and stuff like that. He used to tell me when I was a kid, he said, hey, I'm teaching you this stuff now so you don't get taught it later on. And the folks who teach you later on, they're not going to be as nice. Somebody out here will hurt you. Somebody out here will kill you. The police will lock you up. So it's better you learn from me than to learn out there in the street. Zach says, I got beating by my pre-K teacher from acting up, and my mom okay with that. Yeah, shoot, when I was in kindergarten, I got spanked too. Shoot, that meter stick that they got, that big old long meter sticks like that. Man, please. You got that work back in the day with those, boy. And see, the thing is, your mom, you know what I'm saying? Like your mom being okay with that is actually a good thing because it taught you to respect authority. Because you know how kids are, man. Like they'll try to push you as far as they can. If they know you can't discipline them, they'll keep pushing you. But when they know you'll put that belt to their behind, oh, they'll listen. They'll tighten up real quick. Andre says, I know a coworker that dated a woman with 2 kids and he was taking care of them well, and baby daddy pulled up on him with the gun. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about right there, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like that whole single mother thing is it's a tricky situation. That's what I'm saying. Like I hope nobody misunderstood what I said, right? So let me just make this clear. I am not saying you should date a single mother. I'm not saying you said this, Andre. I'm just making it clear because some people get things misunderstood, or they may not understand where I'm coming from. Or they may see the title and think that I'm advocating for dating a single mother. 8 times out of 10, you should not date a single mother. You hear what I said? 8 out of 10 times you should not do that. But there are exceptions to the rule. But if you decide to date a single mother, if you decide to do that, you better make sure the coast is clear. Make sure you examine her life, you examine her, and you establish yourself in that relationship before you move on to that kid. Let her know, hey, if we're gonna get into a relationship, this is what I expect, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I expect your child to treat me, and I'm gonna treat your child. Because when you're a part of her life, you're a part of that child's life too. Ain't no one without the other. There's no way around it. Dealing with her, you gotta deal with the kid. You cannot deal with her and not deal with the kid. That's impossible, especially if you're looking to be serious. Now, if you're just having fun, that's one thing. But if you're looking to if you're looking to be serious with this woman, that child is now gonna be a part of your life. So you have to understand what comes with that. Let her know what your stance is with that, and let her know that, hey, if we're gonna be serious, this has to take place. If it doesn't, I'm out. And there's no gray area with that. There's no middle ground at all. No middle ground. Don't play. If she says, well, no, you can't discipline my kid if my kid act up. Oh, no, Chuck deuces. If that baby daddy's still lurking around and he's still trying to be all like behind the scenes and peeping what y'all got going, no, don't do it. Do not do it. Don't get involved with that. Andrea says later on down the road she left him. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, yeah, that's the risk you take when you date a single mother. Like I said, again, I don't advocate that. But if you do it, know what you're getting yourself into. I keep saying that. Matt Gerald said, I'd rather just marry a woman and have my kids of my own. Yeah. Now, see, that's ideal. That's ideal, Matt. That's ideal. That's ideal. I think every man naturally wants to have, and every woman, for the most part, wants to have kids with one person and share that experience with that one person. But the reason I'm talking about this is, man, because like in the world we live in, this is be real, especially the older you get. When you're in your mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, maybe 40s, and you may be single and you're looking to date somebody, you're going to have to be open to that person possibly having a kid. Now, when you 18, 19, 20, maybe not so much, but the older you get, possibility that person having a kid already is going to be higher. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into. Um, Now, if both of you guys are like childless and don't, got they don't have to worry about, then great. But just saying, if that is the case, I would not recommend it. You date that person who got a kid, but if you decide to do it, because people are gonna do what they want to do anyway, right? I can say what I want to say all day until I'm blue in the face, but like people are gonna do what they want to do. But I'm saying if you do that, be sure you are 100% clear at what you're getting yourself into and what to do before you get in that situation. Make sure you establish yourself. Make sure you establish your dominance in that relationship. Make sure you let her know what you expect of her and that child if you're going to get involved in their life. And if she can't respect that, then you got to go. Now, and there's always the possibility, and this is the thing that you got to also be aware of. There's always a possibility of that child growing up being ungrateful and saying, "You're not my daddy anyway." That's the part that would sting, I think. When you are invested in that child so many years and it's not your biological kid and that child grows up to say, "You're not my daddy." Granted, we already know that. You already know that's not your biological kid, but like, dang, bro, like it's like and the child always is gonna be a little bit curious as to where they came from. They're going to know where they came from. They're going to be attached to whose loins they came from. So, yeah. Again, like I say, just know what you're getting yourself into, man. So I wouldn't say that I'm totally against it, but Duncan Miller. Yo, what's up, Duncan? Duncan says, me dating a single mom is like cleaning up after a party I wasn't even invited to. Hey, I feel that. Like I said, man, it really depends. Like that's a tricky situation. It depends on where you at in life. It really depends. I think, in my humble opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion is facts, nothing like that. It just depends on your mentality, where you're at in life, um, the person you're dealing with. Let's okay. Let me ask y'all this, right? Let me ask y'all this. I want y'all to answer this honestly, right? Honestly, let's say you meet the baddest woman you ever. If you're a man watching this video, it's live. Say you meet the baddest woman you ever met in your life. I'm talking about she is drop dead gorgeous, bad, right? She got the aura, she got the charisma, she got the game, she got the looks, she got everything. She is bad. But she got one kid. So you're going to automatically turn her down because she got one kid? I'm just asking. Like, what would y'all do? Say it was like, I don't know, who's say it was like Sanaa Lathan. Say you meet a woman like Sanaa Lathan who got a kid and she got like just one kid. Would you automatically disqualify her because she got one kid? And she a cool chick, you know what I'm saying? She don't got no drama in her life. All she want to do is meet a man. I'm asking seriously. Kimberly says, True, I see disrespectful kids doing pranks on video a lot. It's so dangerous and disrespectful. Oh yeah, like these kids can get hurt one of these days doing that stuff. Zach says, hell yeah, Duncan Miller. I'm gonna stick to my child-free guns on that one. Hey, I feel you, Duncan. Hey, I don't knock that, bro. Like, hey, to each their own. All I'm saying, like, listen. I told you guys earlier. I don't know if you were there for that, Duncan, but like, I dated a single mother when I was younger, in my 20s. I did that one time, and ever since then, I vowed to never do it again. Like, don't get me wrong. Before I got married, I was out there in the streets. I ain't gonna front, and I would entertain. I would entertain women who had kids, but I wouldn't be dating them. I would, just have fun and go your way. But like, as far as being serious, I only did that one time, and I would never do it again. I wouldn't do it again. But I understand because of situations that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna meet some women out there who probably cool women who just got one kid and they're looking for love at some point in their life after they had made that era of having a kid early and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say that all women should be eliminated from finding love later on after they had that one, hiccup of having a kid. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause you know how women are. I mean, when you young, when you young and you naive and you don't know no better, you think that person you went to high school with that you love is gonna be your love for life and stuff, that puppy love phase. You might have had a kid in puppy love phase, right? At 19 years old. You think y'all gonna be together forever. And then life hits you in the face and teaches you that, okay, life don't work out that way a lot of times for most people, right? So you grow up, you mature, you move on. You mean to tell me when you're 27, 28, maybe 30, you don't deserve another chance at love? That means you're a different person from um, 19 than you are at 30. I would hope so. You're a way different person from then. So I don't think that all people should be eliminated because they got one kid. Now, again, there's a difference between having one kid and living a reckless lifestyle of having 5, 6, 7 kids by 3, 4 different baby daddies. Now, that's just reckless. That shows you don't care. You don't give a darn about what you got going on in your womb. You just you just letting everybody just dump their load inside of you. That's wild. That's wild. Like, that shows that you have no discipline. You have no care of your own body. You just don't care. That's a reckless lifestyle. So of course you don't want to date nobody like that. But if it's a person who got one kid and they got their situation under control, they're a good person, they don't give their life to God and everything like that, I don't think everyone should be eliminated, man. I think it should just really be by case basis. Nico says, yeah, I would turn her down because, man, the dad always going to be there since she's bad. Hey, Nico, I think you got a point there, bro. I can't say I disagree with that. And you got a point. You got a point. I mean, hey, yeah, if she's really that bad, I ain't gonna lie, Nico. You got a point, man. He might be back around. He definitely gonna be lurking. If it's hard to replace her, if she got that kind of classic beauty that you just can't come across every single day. Yeah, that dude, he gonna be lurking in the background. So I feel that. Zach says, I would as long as her kid is rinsed right and very respectful to me. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it depends. It really depends. Now, I've dealt with women in the past when I was younger who would say stuff like, oh, if my kid do this, that, and the third, then, you know, he can't say nothing to my kid, or he can't do this, he can't do that. I'm like, man, no, 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 nah. Cause boy, listen, a man who has his nuts snatched from him and has no authority in the household, that's, oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine, bro. Like that's your right. I think your inherent right as a man to is establish order in that household. Establish your dominance. Not to dominate as far as like, not like a dictator, but at the same time, you want to be a disciplinarian. You want to be the one who establishes order in the house. I mean, there's nothing like a man's authority in the household. And when someone takes that away from you, man, like, what are you there for? The woman telling you that you can't do nothing, you can't say nothing to this kid, you can't discipline this kid, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? If you're gonna deal with a single mother, man, I'm telling you, she cannot tell you that. She cannot tell you that, oh, you can't do nothing to my kid, you can't say nothing to my kid. My child can spit in your face and you better not do nothing. Like, man, please, if your child spit in my face, I'm gonna put him on the deck. I don't care what you're talking about. Don't care what you're talking about. Your child might have some issues, but boy, one issue your child's not gonna have is crossing the line with me. I promise that. Not happening. They're gonna learn today. They're gonna learn today. Uh, anyway, how you guys like in the chat, man? You guys digging the conversation, or y'all want to talk about something else? Before I get up out of here, I'm not gonna stay on too long tonight, guys. Got a bit of a long day tomorrow. And no, guys, this is not alcohol. I'm drinking sweet tea. I know this is a whiskey glass, but I know I was drinking water out this earlier, so I just figured I'd got some sweet tea in the background there. So just putting that out there. Duncan says gentle parenting is one of the worst ideas in a long, sad history of bad ideas. Oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't raised by no gentle parents. Like there was moments of gentleness, but man, especially as a man, as a young boy when I was coming up, gentleness. You got gentleness when maybe you made a good grade on your report card or something like that. But other than that, what? Nah. Because this world ain't gentle. That's one thing I give my pop. Excuse me. That's one thing I give my pops credit for is that he wasn't that gentle with me, and I used to think that it was not fair when I was young and all this stuff. Now that I'm older, I get it. Now that I'm older, I get it. This world is not gentle. This world does not give a damn about you. So your parents' job is to train you up in the way you should go early in life and make you to be tough. Because this world is not going to be as nice as your parents are, man. They don't care. The world don't care at all. They would chew you up, spit you out, and think nothing of it. So your parents' job is to train you up in the way to, in the way to be tough, and the way to endure in this world you got, because your parents are not gonna be around forever. Their job is to train you up to be strong, durable, you know what I'm saying, resilient. So when they pass on, they know that you can take care of yourself. So, yeah, man, that gentleness stuff. Like, my wife and I, when we have kids, like, gentle, maybe when they're babies, but once they get to the age of being able to comprehend and understand stuff, no, I'm on them. Always on them. Always on them. Because anything can happen to me at any given time. And I want to know that, I want to feel that if something were to happen to me, My kids will be able to take care of themselves. So I don't want to sit there and babysit them all the time and play around and be gentle all the time, because this world is not going to be as gentle. There's times for being gentle, but there's also times for being a little bit more stringent and strict. Marco says, don't date them if they call themselves mama bears. I would agree with that. Wow, who call themselves mama bears? Mama bears is crazy. Mama bears is crazy. Yeah, man. What up? Well, what's up with y'all, man? What y'all want to talk about tonight? Y'all want to ask me a question? Y'all want to get to know me better? Y'all want to talk about something else y'all going through, or any other question about whatever? Or y'all want to talk more about the topic that I got posted? Should you date a single mother type stuff? Which I already said what I said on that. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse on that. So you guys want to talk about something else real quick, man, before I get up out of here? Feel free. The floor is y'all. Ask me anything. Tell me whatever. We can chop it up about whatever. And then afterwards, I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. What's on y'all mind? You know, you folks who are in the chat, man, like those of y'all who really rock with me for real, like I'm talking about like for real. Not just people who like to be weirdos and look and don't say nothing, don't subscribe, or don't like and nothing like that. I'm talking people who like, comment, subscribe, and all the other stuff. Those of y'all who really rock with me for real, man. Y'all is like extension of family, man. I really love you guys, man, who support me for real. Because even though we never met in person, we're like, you know what I'm saying? We friends from afar. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you guys who really rock with me for real. Marco says, or if they have nights out with the girlies. Oh, nights out with the girls. Oh, that's normally going to be a bad night. Not all the time, but listen, girls' nights out. Is that what you talk about, Marco? Before I get into that, you talking about that, right? Like girls who go for girls' nights out. I got stories about that. Oh my Lord. Girls' nights out, boy. Listen. Anyway, Kimberly says sibling rivalry. Oh, what about that? That's what you got going on, Kim? You got that going on with your sibling rivalry? I mean, I think that's pretty common. I think that's more common than we may want to acknowledge or that we may think. Because, in short, you got somebody who's watching you grow up your entire life under the same roof and all this other stuff. I think naturally competition happens. You know, it starts from school too. It starts from like early age. You know what I'm saying? You in school, and then y'all comparing each other grades to each other. Who gets into the better colleges and who gets the better job and all this other stuff, who may get married first. So sibling rivalry is pretty common. That's not nothing new. That's been going on for a long time. You know, and I think that there's nothing wrong with competition to push each other if it's not for malicious reasons. But when it gets to the point of being malicious and there's envy growing, that's the problem. That's the problem. You know, because naturally, if you got a sibling living under your roof, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to motivate each other to be better. Y'all want to motivate each other to, you know, get the best that each other got. But like, you don't want it to be to the point of being envious of each other. You don't want it to be to the point of, you know, it growing bitter. Yeah, sibling rivalry is very common. That's nothing new. That's nothing that's new in this world, and it's nothing that's going to stop anytime soon. You know, because that's what causes envy. Now, can we be 100 here? Can we be real? Real, right? We all have been jealous before. All of us have. It's natural. Jealousy is a natural human emotion. We all have experienced being jealous of something, right? Whether it's somebody who got a relationship that we want, or somebody who got maybe a woman that we want, or a guy. If you're a woman watching this and you got maybe somebody who got a guy that you would maybe want or like, and you may wonder like, wow, man, like how did he get so lucky and I'm still single or whatever the case, or somebody may get a good paying job, whatever. Jealousy is not unnatural. It's very natural. The problem is when it becomes envy. Jealousy is basically like, okay, not that I'm not happy for them, but I want the same thing, right? I'm happy for them, but I want that too. When is it going to be my turn? That's more jealousy. But when it comes to, I hate to see them have this, I don't want them to have it, and I want to take what they have. Or I want what they have, and I don't want them to have it. That's envy. Now you are despising someone else's blessings. You hate the fact that they are happy. You hate the fact that they are so blessed. You don't want to see them have what they have. You want to take what they have. That's envy. You want to be in that spot. So, if I made any sense. Uh, yeah, man. Sibling rivalry. Yeah, that's nothing new. Let me ask y'all a question, right? Like, how would y'all feel thinking about it from a jealous sibling's perspective? Say you grew up with a sibling, right? You watched them grow up. You know everything they've ever done in their life. Every good thing, every bad thing, every ugly thing they've ever done in their life. Y'all ate the same food, grew up under the same roof, had the same parents, same relatives, wore the same clothes, same shoes, watched the same TV, ate at the same dinner table. And this person grows up to be a super successful person. Like, they're just extravagantly blessed while you're still stuck at home and you don't have much to show for your life. How would you feel about that? Not to say that like you got a right to be envious, but I can see where that would come from. I can understand where that would come from. Now, granted, it's all about work ethic. Yeah, y'all grew up under the same roof, but this person put the work in, you didn't. But you think a person who's envious is going to see it that way? No. They don't think logically. Once you're to the point of being envious, you're no longer thinking logically. You're filled with so much hate and wrath and envy, you can't even think clearly anymore. That's when it becomes a problem. Because like I admit, right? When I was single and I wanted a relationship, I remember when I was in Japan and I was walking around, and you know, being a foreigner in the country like Japan, I was a foreigner. I was pretty new there at the time, and I didn't know anybody really. And I'm walking around seeing all these couples and all this other stuff, and I'm just walking around by myself. I was like, dang, man, like it kind of sucked. You know, you would see these guys who honestly don't look like they can defend much with the most beautiful women. You'd be like, man, how this dude get that? You know what I'm saying? You'd be thinking that to yourself, like, how this dude was so lucky to pull that? You know what I'm saying? And then you walking around here single and whatever. And you'd be like, man, this sucks. But it was not envy. You know, envy is like when it's like, all right, I'm gonna hurt this dude, make sure I take what he got or whatever. Nah, I'm not doing all that. But yeah. Anyway, hope you get my point. Zach says, nowadays parents want to be friends with their kids instead of parenting them. I see it all the time. Oh yeah, can't be friends. Cannot be friends. And that's one thing our parents told us when I was coming up. I'm sure y'all probably experienced the same thing. Like, call your parent by their first name and see what they tell you. Like, don't call your mom mom or don't call your dad dad. Call them by their name and see what they say. Or you cuss around your parents to see what they say. They be like, I ain't one of your friends. Don't get it twisted now. They'll let you know that real quick. I'm not one of your friends. Don't call me by my name or don't curse around me like I'm one of your friends. Like they'll check you so quick. But nowadays, man, these parents want to be cool with their kids and go to the club with them and all kind of stuff. I couldn't imagine going to the club with my mom. Like that's wild. I could in the club with my mom or my dad? Man, heck no. Back when I was in, clubbing like that, I couldn't imagine being in a club with my mom and dad, being their friend. Kimberly says, yes, they're nuts. Absolutely, Kane. Wow, that envy and jealousy breakdown was spot on. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it too many times. And, I've experienced it myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been envious of anybody. You know what I'm saying? I can honestly admit that. I think if we honest with ourselves, all of us have been jealous before of something. We've all been jealous at something before in our life. But envious? Nah, I've never been envious. I've never been to the point where I wanted to like take something somebody has and make sure they don't have it and try to, no. Because like for example, you know what I'm saying, you get a friend who roll up in a brand new truck. Like, wow, it's a nice truck, man. And you love the fact that they have this, but you want it for yourself too. Like that's the furthest my jealousy ever went. Like I would see something and be like, dang. But it was not for the worse. You know what I'm saying? It was always for the better for me because when I saw what they had and I wanted something that I saw them work for, it made me want to go even harder because I know that if they can get it, I can get it too. Like what's so special about them? There ain't nothing so special about them that I can't get the same thing they got. All they did was work for it. I can work and do the same thing they did and get the same thing they got. So why be envious? Jealousy is just like a little bit like, dang, man, they got that new such and such. Oh, man, I got to get that. I got to get on my game, man. Dang. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, nah. Jealousy and envy is two different things. Nico says it's not so much the sibling jealousy, it's done siblings. It's just some siblings don't care and they put it in the sibling face and then they try to include the parents who don't care about each kid's feelings. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about like rubbing it in each other's faces, Nico, I agree with that. That's not right. That's not right. You shouldn't be sitting there trying to rub it in the other person's face, like trying to boast about your accomplishments and making them feel bad or making them feel less than because they don't have it. Um, But unfortunately, that's just some families, man. You know, and then when you got parents involved, see, this stuff is like a lot of times this stuff is been embedded in these kids early when it comes to competition with each other. Since school, you know what I'm saying? Like you got one parent or you got parents who may show more attention to one sibling than the other. The sibling might get better grades, or the sibling might have more accomplishments and stuff like that, or whatever, academic accomplishments, and they get more attention from the parents and the other kid. And then next thing you know, over the years, that grows into like a little bit of envy. You got this one kid who's always the more accomplished one that's always throwing it up in the other kid's face. I mean, that's only going to go left. Yeah, I'm not for that at all. Marcus says family members who are used to seeing you down, you will be surprised at how much of them want to keep you there because you're an easy target if your past is still your present. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Marcus. I mean, easy target, man. You know, that's why, I'm not even going to share that. I'm not going to share that on here. I'm going to leave that one alone. But yeah, yeah, I'm just leave it at that. I was going to say something a little bit personal, but nah, I'm not going to say it. JMR says, without even watching, the answer is no. Yeah, hey, listen. Hey, what's that? JMR 100 or whatever, however you say that. Yeah, I feel that. Like, and I already said that like I would not advocate that. 8 out of 10 times. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, I'd say no. Just depends. Zach says, I was jealous of my brother for having a girlfriend and I never ever had one girlfriend at that time, but now I don't care anymore. Yeah, see? And Zach, it's okay, man. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Who hasn't been jealous a little bit when you single and you see your somebody pull like a bad chick? I'm talking about bad, right? Who hasn't felt that? Like, but it's not a terrible thing until you become envious. I think jealousy is natural, man. Jealousy is natural. But as long as it's not envy and you hate the person and you don't want them to have it and you want to take what they have and all this stuff, then yeah. But jealousy is not abnormal. That's pretty normal. A lot of people just don't like to admit that they're jealous because it makes them look like a sucker. I don't think jealousy is a bad thing. It's just as long as you control it. If your jealousy is uncontrolled, then it becomes envy. And then that becomes a dangerous thing. But jealousy naturally is not a bad thing. As long as you recognize it, you catch it, and you deal with it. But you don't just let it grow into some, you know, brush fire of envy. Marcus says, I'm glad more men are waking up to this topic, Mike. Create your own family and stop trying to clean up another man's situation. Yes, yes, I agree. I totally agree. And I want to say this one more time. Not to you, Marcus, all right? Not to you, brother. I'm saying to those who may have joined this live stream late or who may have misunderstood me or who may think that I'm sitting advocating for men to just go out there and date single mothers. I am not saying that. I want to make that very, very clear, crystal clear, that I am not advocating for men to just go out there and date single mothers. 8 times out of 10, I would say that that should not be what your move is. But some situations may be workable. Depends on who you're meeting and where you're at in your life, where she's at in her life, how old that child is. So many factors that play into that. Like, I don't think that, like I said, all women should be eliminated just for having one kid. That's not being reckless. That's when maybe you thought the person you was with at the time would have been who you was with for the rest of your life. You was in that puppy love stage and things happen. But 2, 3, 4, 5 kids by different baby daddies, that clearly says that person hasn't learned. So that should be definitely looked at a little bit differently than somebody who just had one kid. In my humble opinion, that's just my humble opinion. And not all situations are, like I said, are the same. You know, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, y'all. I mean, if y'all want to see what I said early in the video, then y'all can rewind it. I don't want to keep saying that, but I just want to make sure that y'all haven't misunderstood what I said and think that everybody should be out there just dating single mothers. Absolutely not. If you can help it, don't do it. But if you meet someone who's a cool female and she just happened to have one kid, and if you're older, maybe, I think that's more workable when you're older than when you're younger. You know what I'm saying? When you're 19, 20, you ain't trying to deal with no single mother. But when you may be 30, 35, 40, maybe more so then, because you understand women your age are, come on, man. In America, most women, by the time they're 30 years old, 35 years old, are going to have at least one kid by then. So the chances of you meeting a single mother when you're 30s, when you're in your 30s, are a lot higher than when you're in your early 20s. So you got to be realistic. You have to be realistic. You can say that when you're 19, 20, 21 years old. When you're 35, 40, and you talk about, well, I ain't dating no single mothers. Hey, props to you. Maybe you stick by your guns. But understand, if you're looking to date 35, 40-year-old women, what's the likelihood of them not having kids? I'm just saying, like, come on, let's be real about it. But it just depends on how she moves with it. It depends on who she is, and how she allows you to move in that situation. If she gives you freedom to move as a man. If she doesn't, nope, do not do it. Marcus says, I'm glad. Yeah, I already read that. I'm sorry. Kimberly says, got to get ready for the work week. Bye. Hey, Kim, appreciate you dropping in, man. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here myself, man, because getting late. Wifey's already asleep. About to go join my wife, man, and cuddle. But you guys who haven't hit the like button yet, can y'all please do me a favor, hit the like button if you have not hit it yet, please. I'd appreciate it. If not, God bless you anyway. Much love. Thanks for watching anyway. Oh, I'm drinking on tea. Andrea says, what are you drinking on, bro? Yeah, that's sweet tea. I'm just pouring some sweet tea here in a glass. That's what I said earlier, because I know this is actually this is a whiskey glass. My wife got me this set of whiskey glasses a couple of years ago. But yeah, I just pulled this out of the cabinet and started drinking on this. But it's just sweet tea. It's no whiskey. Yeah, we had some friends over earlier from church. My wife and I, we had some friends over, and we had, I made some good food, made some sweet tea. Of course, I had my wine and stuff. We had a good time. Had a good time earlier, man. Had them over. those folks over for like 3 hours, man. Good Sunday afternoon dinner. Good time, good talks. Yeah, I appreciated it, man. Good time. Sorry to disappoint you, Andre. I knew you probably thought it was Crown Royal or something like that. Nah, man, it's just sweet tea. But anywho, you guys got anything else before I dip on up out of here? Questions, comments, concerns, video topic requests. Well, y'all, what would y'all like to see me do a video on next? Marcus, I'm out of here. Mike, be safe, bro. Hey, much love, Marcus. My man. Yes, sir. You be safe too, man. And I appreciate you dropping in. I appreciate you being a supporter, man, as always, bro. For real, for real. Much love, bro. Andrea says, nah, you good, bro. Yeah, you thought that, right? You thought I was drinking on Crown or something like that, or Hennessy or whatever? Nah, bro. Nah, I'm just kidding, Andre. But yeah, man. What would you guys like to see me do a video on next? You know, so you guys watch the content, who really rock with the content. I would appreciate y'all giving some ideas, man, because YouTube is not easy. YouTube is really, really hard to continuously make content that people want to digest and watch. And I'm not a full-time YouTuber anyway, but like the stuff I do make, it's not easy. Like sometimes you get burnt out doing all those videos and all this stuff, man. So anything you guys can do to any suggestions, I'm sorry, you guys have, or any ideas you guys have, I'd appreciate it. What would you like to see us, me talk about on this channel? All right, then. Well, anyway, I guess that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and get on up out of here, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Take care. I love you guys. Jackson, I'm thinking right now. Let me know what's up, man. I can be whatever. Like Real Talk TV, man. I talk about the real stuff, man. So I don't care what is it. I don't care what it is. As long as there ain't nothing too over the top, too out there. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it, man. Andre says, can't think of one at the moment, but we'll let you know through your email. Absolutely, Andre. Do that, man. You got my email, right? For those of y'all who don't have my new email, if you don't have my new email, it's askbigmike.rttv83@gmail.com. So if y'all saw my old videos and my old emails in there, do not send it to that one because I got a new email. askbigmike.rttv83@gmail.com. That's the email. Hey man, but anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. You guys be blessed. Take care. I love y'all. Thanks for y'all spending time with your boy. You know, the live stream. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys' time. And yeah, man, I'll definitely be back soon, God willing. And I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation again. But y'all take care. Again, be blessed. Have a good, safe work week. I love y'all again. This your big brother, Big Mike, checking out, man. Y'all have a good night, all right?